Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Serenia. Yeah, so you might have noticed the place where we start the game here, the place where Crispin lives, is called Serenia, and you might wonder, is that the same place as in the game about Serenia? So, one of Sierra's very earliest games, one of their very earliest adventure games, was The Wizard and the Princess, which was also released under the alternate title Adventure in Serenia. And yeah, apparently this is officially supposed to be the same place, the same geographic location. So it's the same, it's Roberta Williams' sort of continuous universe, if you will. It doesn't really make much difference. There's really no continuity between that game and this one, but just, I guess it's canon that this is the same Serenia. Anyway, so yeah, King's Quest V. I was thinking about it, and I think I gushed over the graphics last time, but I don't think I went as far as to say what I think I'll say now. I think the leap from the 16 colors that we had in King's Quest IV to the 256 colors that we have here, that was probably the single biggest advance in PC gaming graphical capabilities in computer history, in all of computer history. Because really, at this point, if you look at the graphics here, there's not much. It doesn't get much better than this. I mean, yeah, they increased the resolution obviously somewhat, but you don't really see much pixelation here. Like it doesn't look pixely. So I mean, yeah, they have resolution. I mean, this is 320 by 200 resolution. It's not 4K resolution. It's not even 400 resolution. It's less than 400. So yeah, okay, when you have 4K and even 8K resolutions today, obviously today's resolutions are higher, but this doesn't look that pixelated for the most part, in my opinion. And, the thing with the colors, too, I mean, yeah, of course, today, most PCs are at least 65,000 colors or 16 million colors if you have 24-bit color or 32-bit. But this was really, I think, the point where we said, graphics don't have that much farther to go before they look fairly true to life, fairly photorealistic. So I think this game really represents the leap from King's Quest IV to this game, King's Quest V, is I think, again, it's the single biggest graphical leap in computer history, or it was part of it. It was part of that change from 16 color to 256 color graphics. So yeah, the color change made all the difference. And yeah, I just remember my first time playing this game. Somebody commented on the previous video, one thing that they love about watching videos like this, about people recalling their experiences with these games, is just, their memories of it. And I don't have a lot of memories to share specifically about this game. I mean, I played this game when I was about 10 years old, but, I think my experiences were pretty much the same as everyone's. I really like the game. I think really, honestly, I think my first time playing this game, King's Quest V, is probably one of the happiest memories of my entire childhood. Like really, that's I think that's not putting it too strongly. For me, it was it was better than losing your virginity. It was just really, it just made me so. Yeah, be quiet, Cedric. Be patient, please. We'll get to the adventure soon. It really was great. But the one thing that I didn't like, and you folks, I think I mentioned this before, and you folks know that I like parsers. The one thing which was kind of controversial was getting rid of the text parser and replacing with the point and click interface. And I didn't like it at the time. I still don't like it now, 30 years later. But that was a decision which Sierra stuck with. And not only Sierra, but most of the rest of the adventure game industry. I mean, most adventure games after this were point and click. And people seemed to like it. So I think my personal adherence to the parser is rather a minority stance. I realized that I prefer the parser. I think most people probably realize that, but again, I'm probably in the minority here. So yeah. Oh yeah, one other interesting thing. So a couple of things about the cursors. Somebody mentioned in the previous video they recall the cursors being colorized. That was not true for this game. So later Sierra Adventurers did colorize the cursors, but in the original King's Quest V they were just black and white like this. I guess they directly used Interrupt 33, which doesn't support colors internally. And one thing that you might notice, which is kind of funny, if you press an arrow key, so in later Sierra Adventures, if you press the arrow keys to move the cursor, it would just move it something like 10 pixels in that direction. So it would just kind of move like, if I pressed left now, it would move like that to the left. But in this game, if I press left, it does this. It just kind of scrolls all the way. And if you want to stop it, you have to press that direction again. So if I press right now, and press right again, that stops it. It's not a big deal because most people don't play with a keyboard anyway, but I just thought that was kind of funny. It's kind of a weird thing. It's something they didn't repeat in later adventures. But anyway, so talking about the cursors, I was thinking about it, and I figured probably the appropriate thing for me to do, because everybody dumped on the walk cursor and said the walk cursor is useless because Sierra got rid of it in later adventures. The thing for me to do is to play this game with the walk cursor instead of the travel cursor, because that gives you more control. You know, that's like the same advantage that you have with the parser. With the parser, you have more control over what happens because you have more words that you can use. I mean, in this game, I have basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 main cursors here, and then 6 if you count the inventory items. But how many verbs are there in any language? Usually more than 6. Most languages have more than 6 verbs. So the great thing about the parser is the amount of control it gives you. And the great thing about the walk cursor is the game doesn't auto pathfind for you. It goes exactly where you click. So that's, it's like the difference between driving a manual transmission and an automatic transmission. I mean, the automatic transmission is obviously easier to drive, and it might be more efficient, but the manual transmission is just more fun because you have more control over what's going on. And this is a game, and games are supposed to be fun, so let's have some fun. So I'll use the walk cursor for this game. Okay, sorry, enough talk. I should get started with actually playing the game. So let's take a look around. So we are here outside Crispin's house in Serenia. Nestled among the trees of the forest sits the wizard Crispin's worn but cozy cottage. There's a small cellar door located under the house. Small well is located near the cottage. Yeah, and if you just click on something which the game doesn't recognize or doesn't have any action for, then you just get that red X, which shows up for a second. Thick paned windows adorn the small house. It is difficult to see through them. I guess Crispin doesn't like peeping Toms. Small stone bridge. A tiny pond adds charm. An unusual ornament decorates Crispin's front yard. Crispin being a wizard, it must have some magical significance which Graham could never understand. Can we use it? That's Crispin's universe interpreter. Be careful, you might accidentally realign the stars. Ooh, that sounds like fun. Well, I mean, not accidentally, but let's deliberately realign the stars. That sounds like something fun to do. Cedric waits impatiently for Graham. Come on, Cedric, we're in this for a long haul. You don't expect this to be over in half an hour. It's going to go on longer than that. Cedric isn't paying any attention to Graham. Okay. All right, let's get some water. Oh, I actually didn't know that he was going to do something. Graham gazes down into Crispin's well, but sees nothing of interest. Let me, I've just started the game new, so let me go ahead and crank everything up to maximum. There we go. Oh, don't bother with the cellar door. There's nothing there. Besides, it's locked. All right. Is this stick here? No, I guess not. All right. Can we open the windows? No. All right. Can we take a drink of water? Yes, we can. The cool pond water quenches Graham's thirst. All right. I think there's not much to do here. In most King's Quest games, I kind of notice in most King's Quest games, each screen seems to serve exactly one purpose. Not more and not less. Like each screen basically has one character or object or place that you need to be. This just serves as the start of the game. There's nothing you can do here. This is just where the game starts. But most other screens have exactly one thing that the screen exists for. Obviously there are exceptions, but it seemed to be how Roberta Williams designed her game maps. She just made one room for everything, like one thing per room. So we can walk around and explore this area. We can explore Serenia. But you know what I'm going to do? Whenever I play this game, I try to get the worst part out of the way first. So, yeah, worst first. Hey, that rhymes. It's kind of like those of you who've seen the movie Nymphomaniac from Lars von Trier with, Charlotte Gainsbourg. There's that analogy about, do you cut the fingers... cut the fingernails. When you're cutting your fingernails, do you cut the fingernails on the left hand first or on the right hand? Because that's sort of served in the movie as an analogy for people who want to have fun first or get their chores done first and then have fun. If you cut the nails on your left hand first, assuming you're right-handed, which most people are, then you do the easy part first, because usually cutting nails with your right hand is easier. And then when you cut the nails on the right hand with your left hand, that's harder because cutting it with your non-dominant hand is harder. So it kind of varies, but I tend to be somebody who tries to do the boring stuff first, and then we can have fun later. So I'm going to go ahead and do the most boring part of the game, which is the desert to the west. So let's just go and get that out of the way, and then when we're done with that, we can come back here and enjoy exploring this foresty area. Yeah, so the sign seems self-explanatory enough. Enter at your own risk. So yeah, we're going to go in there later, not right now, but eventually, of course, we'll have to walk into that forest. And, Cedric, as usual, is going to say, I'm not going in there. Can't you read the sign? And, I kind of can't blame him. I mean, who would want to walk in there with a sign like that? But Graham is brave, or just foolhardy as he is. Anyway, we'll do that later. Oh, this music. Let me pause and just turn this up for a sec. When I first heard it, I was I was convinced that was one of the most beautiful pieces of music that I'd ever heard in my life, and I think even now I might still retain that opinion. So yeah, this is a weeping willow. She grows beside a pond created from her tears, because she is literally a weeping willow. She's crying, and her tears have formed a little pool. In her branch-like arms, she clutches a beautiful harp as a child would a cherished toy. Can we talk to her? She seems to be somewhat anthropomorphic. Miss Willow? Yes? You can talk? Why, of course I can. What did you expect? Well, I've never seen a talking tree before. What's wrong? Why are you crying? Everything's wrong, can't you tell? I'm not really a tree. I'm really a princess. You see, my fiancé and I were walking through this wood when a nasty old witch did something which I didn't read. When he naturally refused her advances, she jealously banished him to a faraway land and turned me into a tree. Then she stole my heart. Stole your heart? Yes, she turned my heart to gold and took it away with her. The only way I can become human again is to have my heart brought back. Now all I have to cheer me up is my harp. It's quite magical, you know. It plays the sweetest music you've ever heard. Now please, leave me alone in my sorrow. And it's actually true. It actually does play, again, one of the most beautiful pieces of music I've ever heard. Yeah, so she is literally a weeping willow tree. It really bothers me. One of my pet peeves about adventure games is when they clear the text boxes before you clear them yourself. I'm perfectly capable of clicking the mouse or pressing enter on the keyboard. I don't need the game to automatically advance through text screens. That really upsets me when games do that. That's like one of the worst things that an adventure game can do. But anyway, let's see. What does Cedric have to say about the matter? Whoops. What a sad song she plays. Let's try to cheer her up, Graham. That's a good idea, but we need to bring her something which we don't have right now. You can probably imagine what it is. What do we have? All we have is a wand. Graham gives the wand a good shake, but it only fizzles and dies. We came on this adventure carrying only a wand. Now, Graham at this point is an experienced adventure game character. You'd think he'd have the sense to bring some kind of supplies with him, but no, he goes on this whole adventure totally unprepared, brings absolutely nothing with him, and then just happens to carry along the wand that Crispin offers him. That's bad preparation for an adventure there. Anyway. Okay, so we'll come back later. We need something that this tree wants, but we don't have it yet, obviously, so let's continue on. We just keep going west until we reach the desert. Keep your eyes on the gypsies, Graham. I don't trust them. Within the gypsy encampment, Graham notices a dark, burly man who keeps a suspicious eye on him and Cedric. A large ox tied to the gypsy's wagon peacefully munches on grass. Fortune. I think this is teller. It's kind of hard to tell, but I think this says fortune teller. Oh, yeah. A gypsy wagon is encamped here at the edge of the woods. On the side of the wagon, the words fortune teller have been painted. Let's go in and get our fortune told. Oh, I can't click on the door. I guess I have to walk up to the door. That's fine.
It will cost you 1 gold coin to see Madame Mushka, yes.
Okay, well, we don't have 1 gold coin because even though we're a king, we didn't even think to bring along any money. Do they use the same money here? I mean, if this is a different kingdom, they probably use a totally different type of coinage than what they'd use in Daventry. Anyway, all right. Steaming pot of stew bubbles over a small campfire. Can we take the stew? Obviously, the man wouldn't tolerate Graham taking his supper, but how's he gonna stop us? Graham and Cedric are going to gang up on him. It's 2 against 1. He can't stop us from taking his supper. All right. Can we take the ox? Graham finds the huge beast completely uninteresting. Come on, Graham. Animals are interesting. The ox's mouth is too full of grass to even attempt a conversation with Graham. All right. All right, let's continue west. There's nothing but a hot, dry desert further west. Most people avoid it because there are bandits out there. If you insist on going, I'll wait for you here. So yeah, I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. A lot of people say that Cedric is cowardly because he doesn't want to go into the desert, but let's be realistic here. If you ran into this guy whom you just met, you've never seen him before in your life, and okay, you know he's a king. Okay, you get the idea that he's the king of some distant kingdom. Okay, fair enough, but you're tagging along with him just because you've been asked to accompany him and help him out on his journey. And this guy, for no apparent reason, just goes walking into a huge, empty, scorching desert. Are you going to follow him, or are you going to say, look, buddy, I'm not going to stop you, but I'm not going to die. I'm not going to just suicidally walk into a desert with no preparation, with no water, with no nothing. Go if you want to. I'm going to wait for you here, buddy. So honestly, in Cedric's position, I would do the same thing. Graham would be wise to bring some water with him. I mean, there was water. You know, there was that little pond where Crispin lived. We could have gotten some water to bring with us. But no, we just go totally unprepared into the desert. There's no way to bring water with you. You just have to walk into the desert and then start dying of the heat. So, okay, the start is fairly easy. You just follow these mountains. There's just a sheer mountain range that forms the northern boundary of the desert. Rocky cliffs rise high above, Graham said. Yeah, they're fairly uniform, and they just go on and on forever. I think this desert is actually limitless, which actually isn't really limitless because you can only walk. I think you can only walk 7 screens at a time before you die of thirst. The hot sun and choking sands are taking their toll on Graham. He must drink soon. All right, well, we'll get to some water soon. If you just keep going left from where you start here, you will get water soon enough. So, there we go. So there's some water here. A small oasis is formed in the space between the 2 rocks. Let's go ahead and take a drink here. Ah, life-giving water, nectar of the gods. Graham can now feel renewal flowing through him. I think there's actually an NES version of the game, believe it or not, and I think for the NES version they changed this line because they didn't want any religious references in their Nintendo version of the game. Nintendo's that family friendly that they don't want anything that even alludes to religion in this way. So anyway, where are we? We are in front of a magnificent temple which has been carved into the cliffs by some unknown ancient civilizations. Let's go ahead and actually let's save here. And I'll just say in front of temple. And let's see if we just go in. Wow. This music is awesome. Oh boy, this music is awesome. Okay, so what do we have here? Built in Dorky cliffs and ancient temple towers above Graham as he surveys its ornately carved columns and friezes. Stone statues of Pegasus guard the old crumbling temple. Let's take a Pegasus statue. Anything interesting? Can we talk to Pegasus? No. Okay. Can we open the door? Open sesame. The temple door won't open. Perhaps there's something missing. Open sesame. Open aperture. Science. We do what we must because we can. Okay, that appears to not be working. The huge temple door beckons tantalizingly to Graham. Let's wave the wand at it. Okay. It looks like we can't get in there. Okay, that's fine. So, what you're actually supposed to do here, I don't know how you're supposed to figure this out. I guess if you just hang around here long enough, maybe you'll just serendipitously figure it out. What you're supposed to do is get Graham behind these rocks so that he's kind of hidden. This is hidden enough. I know you can still see like his hat, like the top of his head sticking out there, but this is apparently hidden enough. And just wait for a bit. From across the desert sands, Graham can hear the sound of approaching hoofbeats. Open sesame. Yeah, they totally wouldn't see Graham here. Like, if they come from here, he's definitely hidden standing by the rock like that. Oh, and also they came from the temple here. They came back down this way from the temple. They definitely wouldn't see him because he's totally hidden behind the on that side of the rock. So somebody standing in front of the temple wouldn't see him from there. That's definitely, that makes total sense, doesn't it? I mean, yeah, don't question it. It's absolute science. Science works that way. Okay, I'll take another drink just because we're about to leave. Okay, now I'm just a bit lost. Well, I'm not lost. I mean, I know, obviously we're in front of the temple, so I know where we are, but let me, I'll go ahead and save here. Saw bandits. I should have gotten a map of the desert. I know I need to go left and down, but I don't remember how many I need to go left. Let's try 2 left. Let's try that first. I'll try 2 left and see if that works. Yeah, I'll go 2 left and then just go down from here. If that doesn't work, then I will try 3 left. Or was it 1 left? Maybe it's just 1. Oh, yeah. Music. I'll pause for the music. Hold on. Absolutely wonderful. I love this music. I've always wanted to play this because the main instrument here is obviously some kind of strummy instrument, like a string instrument. Sounds like, you know, you could probably play it on a guitar or some other kind of stringed instrument. During the break, at the end there's some very faint sort of music which sounds kind of like it's supposed to be a flute. To do this really properly, you'd need 2 people. You need 1 person playing the string instrument and somebody with the flute, I think, to really do it justice. And it's very lyrical too. Like, there's definitely a lyric sound to the, or quality to the melody. So I mean, you could make this into a song, definitely. I always wanted to write a song about this. I just never did. Anyway, that ding sound that you heard is the sound of you getting points in this game. For some reason, you don't get points from drinking at the oasis in front of the temple, but you get points from drinking at other oases in the desert. So you get the same message about life-giving water, nectar of the gods. Now, there are basically just 3 places that you need to go in the desert. We've already seen one, obviously, that's the temple. The second place that you need to go is, I believe, just to the east of that oasis. I think it's 3 screens. Yep. Oh, a picked clean and sun-bleached skeleton of a man lies in the sand of the hot, dry desert. What happened? Who can say, but it makes Graham uneasy nevertheless. Let's take the skeleton. Graham can't do much to help the poor man now, and vice versa. Can we not take some bones? It's too late for conversation now. What if we run into a dog, like in King's Quest IV? You could run into a dog and give it a bone to pacify it, like in King's Quest IV, like Graham's daughter did in that game. An old shoe lies forgotten near the poor man's skeleton. Let's grab it. Uneasily, Graham reaches down and removes the old shoe from the desert sand. Okay, now we have our first inventory item. First inventory item other than the wand. So it's just an old shoe, or a boot, or whatever. So this is the second place we need to go in the desert, and there's just one other place we need to hit in the desert, and then we're done with the desert and never need to come back here for the rest of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and... yeah, this thing with the hot sun and choking sands. So, I'm going to go ahead and drink here. And save again. Back at Oasis with shoe. It's more like a boot, actually, in my opinion, but the game describes it as a shoe, so I'll go with that. So, once again, I need to go left and down, but again, I don't remember how many. I'll start just going one left, and then I'll try going down, and we'll see how that works out. If that doesn't work, then obviously I will need to go to the left some more, but let's try this. Oh, that was good. Okay, got it. This music's also cool. It's not the best music I've ever heard, but it's cool dancing music. So yeah, there's this woman here dancing. A beautiful harem lady belly dances for the rowdy bandits. And she's keeping them distracted, so they shouldn't notice us walking around here. Yeah, the bandits' horses rest in the desert sun while their unsavory owners revel within the large tent. But we can't take a horse. I mean, it would be nice to have a horse to ride around with in the desert, but disturbing the horses would be very unwise at this time. Can we take a camel? The lone camel lays near a large tent while his owner celebrates inside. The bandits would notice if Graham disturbed the camel. Alright, fair enough. With disgust, Graham looks at a drunken bandit lying face down in the desert sand, completely passed out. The campfire, all but forgotten, is reduced to a pile of glowing embers. Can we get some embers? The glowing coals of the dying campfire are of no interest to Graham. Alright. Overhearing loud music and laughter from within the larger tent, Graham guesses the bandits must be celebrating their latest plunder. And the smaller tent, there doesn't seem to be any activity going on within the smaller tent. Okay. So there's a large clay jar full of water, which will be very useful for us in just a second, because we're going to drink from it. But let's take a look inside here. What have we here? Snoring loudly upon a beautiful carpet, Graham spies a sleeping bandit. Assorted odds and ends clutter the inside of the small tent, while upon a lovely carpet sleeps another despicable renegade. Can we strangle him in his sleep? Graham should avoid the bandit at all costs. Alright. Well, you can see this thing back here sparkling a little bit, maybe. It is a long staff at the back of the tent, which catches Graham's interest. Let's grab it. Taking care to be very quiet, Graham reaches out and takes the staff into his possession. Now, you do need to be careful here. Even if you use this travel cursor, which supposedly walks around obstacles, if you just try to make a beeline for the exit using the travel cursor, Graham will touch the bandit, and he'll say, "Who are you? A spy!" I like how he says it not as a question, but an exclamation, like this is not a question mark. He's saying it as a statement. You are a spy. That wasn't a very smart move. Hey, this is our first death of the game, actually. Just realized this is actually, we've made it this far without dying so far. It's actually a pretty good record. Who says I am a spy? You are a spy. Okay. So, I should have saved the bandit camp. Well, that's okay. Actually, let me show you what happens if you go too far without getting water. So you can just, like I said, I'm pretty sure this desert is endless. I don't think it has any, hello? Hello? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no, the game froze. Ah, darn it. I could just restart DOSBox, but actually this has already been going on for half an hour, so I'll just, okay, I'll just end it here and we'll pick it up from here next time. Okay, this has been pretty much the first half of the desert of King's Quest V. I mean, we're almost done. We just need to get that staff, and then we are almost done with the desert already. So, okay, I'll just cut it here, and I'll see you folks next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and remember to bring water with you if you go into the desert. Come on, let's be serious. Let's be real. Okay, until next time. Bye-bye.